What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got some news about the One Piece TCG that we need to be having a little bit of a chat about. We've got some exciting things that are going down, and it starts off with the reveal of the treasure rare from OP08. Remember, the way it works is our OP08 is exactly the same as Japan's OP08. With one exception. Okay, fine, they have smaller packs with fewer cards and all of that, fine. But my point is that in terms of the actual set list, our sets and Japan's sets are exactly the same. The only exception to this is that we get a treasure rare and Japan doesn't. So that means it becomes a pretty big deal when we get round to the set coming around, actually looking at, well, hang on a second, what have we got in terms of the treasure rare? Because this is the one card in the entire set where we actually need to figure out what's going on, where we don't actually know. Except now we do know, because there was a bunch of alternate arts that were revealed from OP08 officially on Twitter, and in amongst them, they just dropped this image. And I looked at that and I'm like, hang on a second. I don't recognise that card. And I'm a massive One Piece TCG nerd. Feel like I'd recognise that card. And then I looked in the bottom right-hand corner and I saw the TR and I'm like, oh boy, it's our treasure rare. And I'm just going to go out on a limb and say it's the best treasure rare we've had so far. I think this is the best treasure rare we've had so far. I actually really like this one. Back in OP07, we had the Law, and I just wasn't a huge fan of it. And I'm sure some people are, and that's cool, but I looked at that and I'm like, don't love the artwork, happy to give it a miss. And then back in OP06, we had the Nami, and look, I know art is subjective, and that's fine. I'm really not a fan of the Nami artwork. I don't think it's that great. Didn't rush for that one. This one, however, I really like the artwork, and look, I'm reading through the manga. I'm up to date with the manga. I'm loving the Egghead Island arc right now. So having this is just awesome. It's Luffy in the Egghead Island getup on Egghead Island, just kind of chilling. And I just think it's really cool artwork. I like it very much indeed. I think this is the best treasure rare yet for the West. Remember, China has also had treasure rares. And to put it bluntly, China's treasure rares are just so much better than ours. The actual best treasure rare so far is the Rebecca from China's OP07. Happy to say that. But I'll tell you something for nothing. I think in terms of Western treasure rares, this is the best we've had so far. Also worth noting, of course, that China's OP08 had Sanji as the treasure rare, which really shouldn't surprise anyone at this point. We're not getting the same treasure rares as China. In OP06, China got Boa Hancock and we got Nami. In OP07, China got Rebecca and we got Law. And in OP08, China got Sanji and we got Luffy. We're not getting the same treasure rares as China. And look, I cover One Piece TCG news on this channel. When the Chinese treasure rares are getting revealed, I'm going to show them to you because that's really cool One Piece TCG news. But we do now have to assume, and I think it's incredibly fair to assume, that we're never getting the same treasure rares as China. That's not a thing, and you know what? That's totally okay. So which Luffy is this? It's the one from OP07, and of course there was an alternate art in OP07 as well. So you got 3 options now, make your choice, and it's actually a decent card that's seeing a decent amount of play. It's a very nice card. 5 cost, 6,000 power, counter plus 1,000. And activate main, trash this character, and if you got 2 or fewer life, KO one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less and draw a card. Or as a trigger, KO an opponent's character with a cost of 4 or less. Really nice trigger, but also it's got like a standard thing where you put a 6k body on the board, it's there for a few turns, and then at any point you're like, oh, I got 2 or less life, KO a 4 cost or less, then draw a card. Really nice, sees a bunch of play in yellow. This is actually an extremely cool card. I like it. But there's something else going on in Japan right now, and that is that there's another set of 7-11 promos, and these are Beautiful. And before we get going here, I need to give a massive shout out to the lovely Taj TCG here, who actually has hooked me up with a set of these, and I am incredibly grateful because, well, these are given out in Japan, but they're given out in Japan just after I left. Couple days after I left Japan, these started to be given out. These started on the 16th of August, and I left Japan on the 13th of August. So last year, I actually got in really nicely with the 7-11 promos. They started while I was in the country. This year, they started 3 days after I left. And that's really annoying. And I was very sad. But the good news is, Taj TCG was in Japan when they came out, and is just one of the very best people in the community, and I mean that incidentally very sincerely, and was able to hook us up, and that makes me very, very happy indeed. So what have we got here in terms of promos? Well, they should look a little bit familiar. You see, we got 3 leaders, and then you look and you notice that they are in fact the 3 brothers, Sabo, Luffy, and Ace. And then you notice that they're all part yellow, and you go, hang on a second. These are the leaders from Starter Deck 13. And that's what we got here. Just alternate art leaders from Starter Deck 13. And I actually think this is awesome, because the deal here is really simple. You can just ignore these. Nobody needs these cards. Now, the reason I saw these and immediately messaged Taj, going, are you still in the country? Come on, help a Wassy out here, is because I'm a massive nerd. And I adore the One Piece TCG, and I want these in my binder. I want these as part of my collection. They will make me happy. But nobody actually needs these cards. They are just alternate arts of existing cards, and they're going to look cool in your binder. You might want this particular artwork for your deck, and that's lovely. But if you don't get these, you're not missing out. I don't like mechanically unique promos. They make me sad because it means that some people are just not able to get particular cards for their deck, and it actually hurts people's ability to play the One Piece TCG, and I think that's rubbish. Not a fan of mechanically unique cards, and these aren't. These are a cool bonus. They're a cool thing to go and pick up. They're nice to go and get. Go and get yourself a couple bits of fried chicken. Get yourself a free promo. Job's a good one. But you do not need these cards. They are the very definition of inessential, and that's awesome. To answer the next pretty obvious question that I know a bunch of people are going to be asking, hey Wassy, are we getting these in the West? Yeah. And I don't actually know. I can't give you any proper information here. But we got the 7-11 promos last year. There's no reason why we wouldn't get them this year. They're probably going to end up as some random tournament promos. But we always end up getting these. I think the chances of getting these are nearly 100%. Now, of course, it's also worth noting that we did get alternate versions of these leaders in Starter Deck 13. So we started with Luffy, which is, I mean, at this point, blatantly the best of them. We've got the regular, we've got the promo, and we've got the, what I'm going to call monochrome, which I know isn't really monochrome because it is black and white, but then you've got all the fists being coloured, so I'm going to let you figure out a better name for that on your own. But Black Yellow Luffy is a legit deck right now. It went and won the Japan Championships just a couple of weeks ago, and it's been a legitimate deck in the West as well. Right now, it's the 3rd best deck in the metagame with just over 14% of the meta share. So make no mistake about it, Black Yellow Luffy is a legit deck. It is a great deck, and having an alternate art of this is awesome. It's a black-yellow, obviously, and your face-up life cards are placed at the bottom of your deck, not being added to your hand. That means triggers do not activate. That was a big ruling for a while. And then Don X2, activate main once per turn, trash a card from your hand. If you've got 0 life, put 2 characters of a cost of 5, exactly 5, from your hand or trash to the top of your life face up. You go from 0 life back to 2 regularly. It's awesome. We then also have Sabo. That is the red-yellow Door next 1, activate main once per turn. Add one of your characters to the cost of 3 or more and 7,000 power or more to the top of your life face up. And up to one of your characters gets a 2k bump until the start of your next turn. Unfortunately, fair to say, not a particularly great deck. Sorry about that. And then we've got Portgas the Ace, which is your blue-yellow leader. Door next 2, activate main once per turn. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Add a character for cost of 5 to the top of your life face up. And then at the end of your turn, trash all of your face-up life cards. Again, unfortunately, not a particularly great deck. Sabo and Law haven't really seen much play at all. The Luffy has seen significant play. So, yeah, that's where we are. Assuming it works like the other promotions in Japan tend to, and I've no reason to believe it doesn't, you do get to choose which cards you get here, which can make things a little more awkward because Luffy is the most popular of them and the best of them. But the general rule is you go in, you buy 2 pieces of, well, it's going to be fried chicken. There's other things available, but you're going to go buy 2 bits of fried chicken, get the promos, jobs are good. And so there we go. You got those promos and you got the treasure rare. You've got what you need. And now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about all of this in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi. That's where we talk about One Piece and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.